16 Wales Open live on BBC Wales Television. Your commentary team for the biggest game of the lot is Darren Morgan and Dominic Dale.
Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the final of the 2016 Bet Victor Welsh Open Championship. We're live at the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff for what could be a very thrilling final. Played each other 14 times. Neil Robertson's had the more recent of victories in the semi-final of last year's Masters. A resounding success by 6 frames to 1 on that occasion. So we could be set up for a really thrilling encounter. Alongside me in the commentary box is one of the legends of Welsh snooker, Darren Morgan. How do you see this going, Darren?
Thanks.
Well,
thank you. First frame.
It's going to be an hard one to call, you would feel. If you went on form this week, you'd have to put Ronnie O'Sullivan slight favourite because he has played absolutely flawless snooker, but then Neil Robertson, every time he's had to rise to the task, he has. I think, as Willie said in the early intros, it's all going to be about the start for Neil Robertson. You'll have to get off to a good start, win a couple of the early frames, put Ronnie under as much pressure as possible. As we've seen all week, when Ronnie starts knocking him in, at the moment he's very, very confident in life, not just on the snooker table. He's in a real good place off the table as well, which is obviously improved his game immensely. I mean, you know, I had a little chat to him earlier on, and I said, life begins at 40, Ron. And his exact words to me, I told everybody I was playing like this at 14, 15. And he did, but I think it took him that long to really enjoy himself, to create a path for where he wants to go, for him to allow himself to express himself the way he's playing at the moment. He's playing like it's exhibition snooker, but obviously we know it's very serious match play.
Yes, indeed. The final this afternoon and this evening will take place over the best of 17 frames. So the first to 9 will be the victor. Neil Robertson started last night's semi-final rather hesitantly. Can't help but feel he needs to be more positive early on against Ronnie O'Sullivan, who could really steal a march on him if he doesn't start playing well straight away from the word go.
There's nothing too shabby about that one. Cued that to absolute perfection. Just got to be a little bit careful with this blue.
Six.
There you go. You can see a near capacity house in attendance this afternoon, and I'm sure it'll even be fuller tonight, the concluding session of this year's final. Had wonderful attendances here this week for the Welsh Open. It's been very heartening to see as a snooker player myself.
Neil
He
Robertson,
had a choice
6.
at a red in the right centre, but decided that he's going to keep things nice and tight. Be a little bit disappointed, Neil Robertson, after knocking that great long red in, only to make 6 there. He's a lot thinner than he'd have liked, Ronnie, there. Cue ball's out of bulk. This is an half chance for Neil. Well, this is a much better start. His logo's just come off. Talking to some of the players this week, they've obviously a lot of them have them sewn on so they can't come off, but the ones that have sort of got double-edged tape on them and sticky, they've lost them and they've found them stuck to their cue, and as they've come through they've stuck to their chin. As I was saying, this is a much better start than what Neil started in the semi-final. Looks up for this.
Seven. Eight.
As always, it'll take both players just a few shots to become accustomed to the speed of the bed of the table and the response off the cushion rails. Neil already trying to work out a way of bringing the black ball into play. You see in our camera shot there is a plant there to the left corner, but I don't think Neil will need to bother with that yet.
Thirteen. 14.
This has been an hard-crafted little effort from Neil. Well, as I'm saying that,
Neil Robertson,
Mr.
19.
Red that he would have fully expected to have made. Just wasn't plain sailing, that effort. Everything just covering each other.
Yes, and now that plant that I mentioned earlier could come into play. There it is, and there it goes. And if Ron is not on the colour here, he'd be very disappointed with himself.
1.
Overrun by a couple of feet, but he may still be on the brown. It would have been a plant he fully expected to get.
He knew he'd be leaving himself a lot of distance between cue ball and the red to the right corner. Well, he walked in having a little play around with his tip. Tom noticed it as he came down the stairs, and then as he sort of went to shake hands and that again, he was having a little fiddle around with it. Maybe a couple of loose fibres just sticking out from the side. Over chip that one.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
I just wonder there how many players would have tucked in behind the yellow rather than attempt the brown that Ronnie did. Because given the position of the reds, it's been a devil's own job to escape from the snooker and not leave Ronnie back in. There's the cue ball going. Ooh. Well, that's rebounded quite nicely for Neil from the pocket jaws. Quite well set here on the brown into the green pocket as Ronnie just pulls around once again with his tip. As Darren said, probably a couple of loose fibres just sticking out which catch your eye when you're cueing.
Brown. Five.
Made that shot look very easy. Still not straightforward. Just made things awkward. Pink is the other end of the table. Black is tied up. So you've had to concentrate in the few opportunities he's had in either the blue or one of the bulk colours. It's okay. So a couple more shots now from being plain sailing. We're in potted this red, the bottom one of the three. As long as he keeps getting the right side of the blue. This could be a frame winning chance now.
30.
Ideal now, he'd like the red to the bottom of the three. That's what he'd like to get on. And he might even play for the black, just the red just above the black, and try and move the red off the black. But there is risk with that shot. That's what he's looking at.
$18. $90.
That's 3/4 of the table time so far, Neil Robertson, in this opening frame. Which is why he's only a few more pots away from winning it. Hasn't needed to bother with the black. He may have the opportunity here in potting this red to stun into the red.
24.
It's to the left of the black to free it up.
$25. $32.
So red, blue and red to secure this opening frame for Neil. Was this in? Just.
33. $38. $39.
Red was frame ball for Neil. Play the black here and stun into the red that's nearest to the black, which would kick one along the cushion towards that left corner. Took his eye off the black, but Ronnie, if he does come back to table, will need two snookers. He decides against it, so it is Neil Robertson who takes the opening frame of this best of 17 frames final. He leads by 1 frame to 0.
or pre-match, it was the fact that Robertson had to get off to a good start. That would suit Robertson, a really scrappy opening frame. It kept Ronnie off the table. Ronnie never got any cue action going at all there, any fluency at all. Robertson now has got a foothold in the match, and like we talked about earlier, he has to make a good start.
Yeah, and Ronnie has lost 3 of his opening frames this week. We made that point earlier, but
absolutely
it's not
amazing, isn't it? Amazing.
So let's go back then. Robertson with the advantage at this stage.
Yes, well, I don't know whether I would say it was a scrappy first frame, but Robertson knocked in a couple of real good long pots. I do agree with Willie. Robertson will be over the moon with the way the first frame went. Obviously, Ronnie's not going to be worried at all at the minute. There's a long way to go. I think what's most worrying at the minute is the way he was playing around with his tip in the first frame. I haven't seen him doing that at all this week. Looked like for a minute that red was going to go to the right corner, but Neil Robertson in a bit of trouble now.
Both these players will be glad to see that that black ball is still in open play. They love to attack and break build. I wouldn't call them tacticians, although both are very proficient in that department of the game. Just caught that red too thickly, Ronnie. Which meant he caught another red on its path back to bulk, but could have left a much easier opener than this for Neil Robertson. Very tricky red to left corner if you want to go for it. It's fraught with danger.
Well, the way he's having a little good look at this, does that red just the side of the cluster go into that right corner pocket? Difficult shot. He's going to have to play this with pace. That's tight. That was very tight. He got the second part of the shot right. He's got a reasonable cue ball. He has left Ronnie chance the left corner. It's all about missing the reds with a cue ball. Very tight, that one.
Good effort from Ronnie, but hasn't quite got into the match as such yet. Hasn't got his cue arm, timing and rhythm going just yet. Early days in this match from his point of view. And he scored 5 points in that first frame. Well, it's amazing how Neil's found the gaps there and not cannoned any of the reds. And if he's not on the black, very unlucky. Not so sure he thinks it goes. And if he has to play the blue, not easy to get on his next red.
Yes, Tom, I think even if he can get through the potting angle of this black, it's a lot thinner than he'd have liked, and there's no guarantees of the control of the cue ball. He'll do well to miss the red on the top cushion. And obviously in potting the black, he is going to tie it up somewhat. It's going to go back on its own spot. So we could see a little bit of a similar pattern to the previous frame here.
Yes, I think he's decided the black does go. He should be able to avoid the cannon on the red, just to the left of the black, the one that's on the top cushion. Like you say, Darren, when it respots, it'll be tied up for now.
Black.
Yes, I didn't think he could miss the red on that top cushion, but that black now is truly tied up.
8.
Was he lucky, and can he get to this red to left centre? This will be a bonus if this one goes. If not, I think he's got one just at the top. Could chip back to the corner, but he's already down, so this red must go. Again, there wasn't much room there, but he's played it very well.
9.
Back in good position now.
Just had a look there to see if the black will pot into this right corner at some point. Possibly to see if the red that's to the left of the black will also pot there. Obviously does, because he's played for it. And when he pots this, Neil, that really will open the black up.
40.
It was a good black that he knocked in previously. I think he had to bend it in slightly with side just to straighten the potting angle up, which is why he did cannon that red. Couldn't play it as a stun shot.
15.
In potting this black now, he could really clear that black spot area. This is a good chance now developing for Neil.
$22.
He's just having a little look to see if he can pop this red to left corner and stun over into the 2 just to the right of the black. He'd love to play that shot, because as Dominic said, that will clear that black spot area, make things a little bit easier for him. I think he thought in potting that black he was going to get a much thicker contact on them 2 reds. Well, he's played just a cannon the black, and that's worked out okay. That one could have gone wrong. Be quite happy with the finished article there.
Sit. $31. 36.
We can play the stun run around.
37.
A bit lower on this black than he'd have liked. He's having a look to see if he can get into the cluster of reds. Have to go right to the bottom of that cue ball. Well, he just caught him a bit too full, I think. Might still be on this red to right
44.
centre. And if he is, that's a bonus. Just meant to catch the outside of the red he initially hit. Wanted that cue ball to go to the right.
Sure, Neil would be the first to admit he was somewhat fortunate to have that red on into the right centre. And now it's gone in. From his point of view, ought to be plain sailing. Already 51 points in the lead. 2 or 3 more reds and colours. Take a 2-0 lead.
51. $52. Yep. 57.
So all his work still not quite done. It's going to require one more good shot.
$58.
He's played that, he's hit that very well. He had more of an angle on that red than he would have liked. Not on this red as well as he'd have liked, because he caught the black a bit thick then in potting it. Just went in off the jaw. Still no problem though.
66.
So 66 ahead, 67 on the table, a nice easy blue. I think it's fair to say that Robertson is going to go 2 frames up. And this has been a completely different start
71.
to Neil to his semi-final. He's come out of the blocks like a little whippet.
$72.
I'm sure this crowd would love him to get a century early on in this match. I needed a lucky little kiss there, and he hasn't got it. This is going to require a real good pot to continue this break and hopefully go on for the century. Now we're going to see a Neil Robertson special. Why not? Now will Ronnie come to the table, and
Robertson 78.
I think it's a good decision for Ronnie O'Sullivan, to be fair. He hasn't had any table time whatsoever, really. This is not a easy red. I mean, he'll have no aspirations, I don't think, of winning this frame, Ronnie. This is all about just to have a couple of shots, pot a couple of balls. Well, it hasn't got any. He might even concede now. Obviously, the gentleman thing is to concede after your opponent's played his shot. And Ronnie is a gentleman when he's out there. There is value in doing this, trying to keep Neil on the table a little bit longer. Neil's found his rhythm. Ronnie be just trying now to knock him out of that. Another bout to safety.
Frame conceded. Frame Neil Robertson.
Well, Ronnie's had enough of that one. Neil Robertson didn't make the pot. He had a lovely break of 78. Neil Robertson will be happy. Ronnie O'Sullivan's in unknown territory. He's gone 2-0 down. That's the first time this week. What can he do? Neil Robertson leads 2 frames to 0.
I think Neil's Willis hit the nail on the head there. This, I think for me, is the first important little juncture of this match so far. When he were to fall 3 frames behind, it could be a very uphill task for him. Never really settled down in any match until you do get the scoreboard rolling, get that first frame on the board. And he'll be very keen to do that as soon as he can.
Can he get through to this red, to the right corner? Well, he's going to play the safety, so even if he can get through to it, he doesn't fancy it. That's something we haven't seen all week. Ronnie hitting a bulk colour, and Lee's got a, I should say Neil's got a perfect chance here making this red through the gap between the red and black. Well, I think he's had a bit of a kick there. The size of the sigh he gave, Ronnie would be quite happy. Most players have had the cue ball cleaned there, but Ronnie doesn't, just gets on with it. Well, you could see the red then took off.
Yep.
Well, I'm saying he don't have to get it clean, but obviously he's got some kind of either a bit of chalk on there or some foreign body. This is his first real opportunity in this match so far, Ronnie. He's not happy with this tip. A couple of shots ago, when he was queuing off the cush, you could see it was just fraying on the one side a little bit.
One.
And obviously it's annoying him as he's looking down the barrel of the cue. When things go good, it doesn't really matter what you're looking at. When things not going so well, any little thing can put you off.
9. $16. Yep.
Can be very off-putting when you're about to strike the cue ball, but you see a spot of chalk or something that distracts you. That's why I had it cleaned there.
$70.
This is the shot. Deep screw shot into this pack. Should pull the red to the right, to the corner. I thought there's no way this could go wrong. I think it has gone
24.
slightly astray. He's still got a shot at a red to yellow pocket. He's got a thin one to the left middle. But he would have expected to have been real easy on something from there. Well, there's an exhibition shot for you. If he had missed that, he was leaving Neil Robertson 3 easy reds. Just got down, bump. Doesn't mean nothing, that shot. He played it as if that red was right over the hole.
$31. $32.
Another opportunity here for Ronnie to bring further reds into play. Ah, that's gone wrong. Play to kind of both reds together there, which should have left him nicely on this red to the right corner. See, caught the left-hand one fully. Cue ball ran through an inch or two, blocking his intended red. But fortunately for Ronnie, he can still pop the red into the left corner or the left centre.
$40. $43. $44.
When he's in full flow,
51.
just makes it look so easy.
52.
He must be the best striker of the ball. He's developed a technique. It just repeats itself, shot in, shot out.
59.
That was a terrible contact there that Ronnie suffered. It could mean end of break. Just a few more pots needed to get his first frame in this final. Unfortunately, he's going to require a second opportunity due to that kick. Excellent safety nevertheless, found a perfect length of the cue ball. O'Neill, if he desired, does have the opportunity of a long red to the right corner. You see the kick there, the cue ball and the red both leaving the bed of the table. Yes, and of all the shots, no chance of getting on the black then. The cue ball would ordinarily have run on at least a foot further.
Well, they don't come any better than that. He's got a long way to go just to get back into this frame. Never mind winning it. What a body blow now this would be for Ronnie O'Sullivan. If Neil Robertson somehow was to make a counter-attack with this effort. What a great long red that was. And you can just see it. Ronnie was sat in his chair thinking probably he'll drop this red in. After he's had the kick, looks like he's going to win the frame for definite. He can't legislate for a kick. This could be a massive body blow. Long way to go though.
Good thinking this from Neil. His train of thought, I'm sure, is to get top side of the blue, which he has done. Can now play little cannon into that trio of reds and the pink. If he knows he'll be guaranteed to be on a red to the right centre at worst. Well, that's finished possibly as bad as it was ever likely to do from there. He's not really on the red to the right centre, too severely hampered. He's pushed a red to this top cushion. I think the only possible red, apart from the one into the right centre, is a very thin one into this right corner.
So awkward, them shots. He's done well there. In and out of bolt now off this blue. To miss the yellow. That was his only
20.
Good part of that shot, really. Just wanted to slay. If he'd slid past the yellow, he'd have had a shot at the two reds. Much easier shot than this. As a reprieve, Ronnie, I'm sure, would have been fearing the worst. He'll be relieved.
Be in for a rather tense finale to this third frame. He'll be bitterly disappointed at having cannon the yellow there and potting the blue to the left centre. Made a very poor safety by here standards afterwards as well. Well, it was a shot to nothing on the red, hit it way too thickly. He's got another chance here. Needs all the remaining balls in order to steal this third frame.
Just come high enough for this red.
6.
He'll be playing now off the red either for pink or black. Probably pink would be his better choice. If he can get real close to this red on the top cushion, half ball, he'll play the drop in. Otherwise, I think we might just see him hit around the table and play the snooker in behind the black. He's just having a little look to see where he needs to put the cue ball to get as close as he can to that red.
Seven.
Now, the one thing he doesn't want to be is dead straight on this pink, because if he is, he won't be able to get close to this red, and he's got a nice little angle there. Right in behind the red he wants to be now.
Yep.
And that there is just about perfect, I think. He's got a little angle, he can just drop this red in, perfect weight, and he'll be about half ball on the black.
Yes, he finishes nice and lowly on the black. He could have a natural angle to play for the yellow to the left centre. Oh, is this red in? Oh, Neil.
Robertson, 30.
Well, that could have been a very important part of this final so far. That could be a mini turning point. Neil could have gone on and made that clearance. Would have kept Ronnie under the cosh. Wouldn't normally miss those, but he knew the importance of it. And now the red's gone in. Neil finds himself needing a snooker. I don't think he expects to have the opportunity to play for it. So Ronnie O'Sullivan will get his first frame on the scoreboard in this year's final. I just wonder if that misread from Neil Robertson could come back to haunt him.
$13. $17. $22. $28.
In goes the pink. Ronnie's
Ronnie
not too
also.
pleased with the contact maybe that he received from it, but nevertheless, aided by his early break of 60, he gets his first frame on the board, but still trails Neil Robertson by 2 frames to 1.
The context of this match now, I'd say this is quite an important frame. They're all important, obviously, but Neil Robertson, he'll want to reassert himself. You want to go into the mid-session interval with a 3-1 lead. He'll feel his job has been done. That's what he would have been thinking coming out into the match. To have any chance, I want to take minimum 2, but if I can, take 3 out of the first 4. As Willie said, it looked like, for all intents and purposes, Ronnie was going to win that third frame with a big break, barring the kick. So probably the right result in the end. But, Neil had a great chance of pinching it, and he'll know that.
Played that pretty well, Neil. Clear to see now, the way the reds are spread, that one mistake could be the player's last in this fourth frame before the mid-session interval. So imperative, any safety shot played here is a good one.
Yes, he'd be so tempted for this red to the right centre, but he can get his cue just under the cue ball to get it back behind this black off this red. He'll be happy with that. Obviously, it's important to get the cue ball as tight as you can to get that cush to eliminate that shot, because Neil Robertson can play the same now. Lifting a bit of his cue, playing it with bottom left hand side. He's got to play it at pace, so the only thing he's got to be careful, he must get the cannon from red to red or colour. Doesn't want that red coming back this end of the table. Well, he missed the cannon, and he's been a bit fortunate there. He has left the red to right centre. I'm trying to keep the pressure on. I think earlier in the week, this just shows how important this match is to Ronnie. Earlier in the week, he'd have been rolling that red to right centre. He's gone for near enough everything. And for his opponents, the problem's been it's all gone in. Now that's what I was on about. That cue ball is welded. That top cushion. Ronnie could be forced to go in for this into right centre. He won't want to play it, and if he can think of a safety shot, he'd love to stick the cue ball down by the corner pocket.
Ronnie felt that he had to take that one on, committed fully to it. A great pot, but now that the red's gone in, he's got to consider himself rather unfortunate not to be on at least some sort of a pot on a colour. At least it's dug himself out of the hole that he was in there. Problem is, it's not easy here to come up with a constructive safety shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
To go with that red. Played in such a way that he always knew he was going to get a reasonable cue ball. These reds are now nicely spaced right around the fullness of the snooker table. Just a little bit wide with that red, but where's it going? It was nearly a fluke, not quite.
Yeah, he's left this on, you know. Neil can get past the pink here. What a chance this is. Ever so disappointed, Neil, if he couldn't win the frame from a opportunity such as this. Absolutely everywhere, these reds. Like a cherry tree.
Seven. Eight. Thirty. 40. $90. 20.
All about keeping tight control now with his cue ball. He's got enough loose reds in the open to make sure that he wins this frame before it starts getting too difficult.
25.
Just got to keep ensuring he gets high value colours with the reds. Like Dominic said, they are sat like soldiers, yeah.
26.
Obviously you can afford to have a couple of low value colours. There's enough reds at the other end of the table that he can take pinks and the black off. Off this next red, he'll be playing for the blue to come down for these reds. This end of the table.
28.
He'll be trying to leave the two nearest the left centre and the one on the back cushion to last. I think that cue ball just travelled a little bit further than he liked there. Which has now left him a lot further away from this red than he would have liked.
34. 35.
Neil Robertson freely admitted to me earlier that was a time when he used to roll into the club about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, just do 2 or 3 hours practice, but not these days. Much harder worker than that. Practices several hours every day, and I think that's clear to see when you look at his consistency of their games.
42.
Great century break makers, there's no doubt of that.
43. 48. $49.
He just needs this black and 2 more reds. Well, in fact, in potting this red, he'll just
56.
need a colour. As long as it's pink or black. And they're not hanging about. Averaging about 14, 15 minutes a frame.
57.
He's took these very well. As Dom said, he will have expected to have scored quite a few when he came to the table. Whether he thought he'd win the frame from it is another thing, but he's took these very smartly. He's going to enjoy his interval. 3-1 ahead of Ronnie O'Sullivan.
64.
We haven't seen a century yet. In this final, could this be the one?
69.
He's got every chance now. It's that one awkward red.
$75. $76.
Well, that wasn't a great contact. He's a lot thinner on this blue than he'd have liked. He's having a look. He might even feel his value. I was going to say cannon the red off the blue, but he's going for a more difficult green. And it's not to be. He'll be quite happy. That 76 goes as early as 78. Ronnie Sullivan's got a lot to think about in the interval. He trails 3 frames to 1.
Ronnie 3-1 down in the final.
I wouldn't be worried if he's a 3-1 behind against a player outside the top 16. The fact that he's playing Neil Robertson, who's obviously a machine, and he would now, his temperament will be tested. But it was interesting to see virtually everyone admits that Ronnie O'Sullivan's the best player in the world, but he can be beaten. A lot of them said his temperament's a little bit flawed. If he didn't get his own way, sometimes he didn't want to play. But this will tell us a lot about what frame of mind. We think Ronnie O'Sullivan's in the best frame of mind we've seen him ever at any tournament this week here in Cardiff. What remains to be seen when the next 4 frames will tell the same story.
Let's go and find out then as we resume the first session here in Cardiff with Robertson leading 3-1 and a slight change in the commentary box. Darren Morgan, and good afternoon to Terry Griffiths.
Thank you, Ian. Pretty close to the cushion there with the break off. Quite a contrast, of course, in these two players. Ronnie O'Sullivan, all instinct and seems like God-given talent, and not that Neil hasn't been, but he's more of a Steve Davis type of player, you know, doesn't miss, very steady, can keep you away from the table for long periods. Which one would you rather play, Darren?
Neither. Both of them are class acts, but I got to be fair. Obviously, I have played both of them when I was on the professional tour. And there's only one person I think I've ever played. I won't say I was happy sitting in the chair, but I enjoyed it when I was sat in my chair, and that was probably Ronnie O'Sullivan. Because, you know, when he's at top flow, he's absolutely majestic to watch. Obviously, I wanted to beat him. I didn't like it when he was potting all the balls against you, but he was so attractive to watch. Terrific to play. And many, many moons ago. Long time now, 97. Just after Ronnie hit that fastest 147 at Sheffield. There's a lot of people unhappy with me because I then knocked him out. The very next round, 13-12, it was a great match. Probably my most memorable match. Here we are. I'm sat in the commentary box and he's still doing it. I retired at 40 and Ronnie's looking like he's playing his best snooker at 40.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
That's another good safety from Neil Robertson. Of course, O'Sullivan, he glides around the table slowly but surely, using his skill, touch and vision to separate reds from the pack and then clear the table with ease and beauty that others do not offer. Exactly what Darren was saying when he played against him. All the professional players like to watch him play, and that says it all.
Crowd shouting out, getting right behind Ronnie. He's a big favourite with the crowd, the same as Jimmy White used to be in the late 80s and 90s. And the same as Alex Higgins in the 70s and 80s, but Ronnie was a long way off with that one. That's probably the most he's missed a shot all week here in Cardiff. It wasn't easy and he was having to force it a little bit. But Neil Robertson now has got a great chance. He's just laughing. The seagulls are making a bit of a noise, bit of a racket on the roof. You can hear them in the box. And if we can hear them in the box, they can hear them at the table.
Three. Four.
Well, not quite as planned. 1 minute seemed after that O'Sullivan missed that he'd have a great opportunity here with the reds well spread, but now he's shaking his head. If he'd potted the green, it looks as if he could cannon into the brown. The brown isn't a great angle to come down for the reds, so it's just the roll up. 4 points from that.
Neil Robertson, 4.
He'd be disgusted, Neil.
You won't see many shots played better than that. Played that to absolute perfection.
Another good safety shot. I think Neil Robertson is well aware that Ronnie O'Sullivan's long potting has been very good in the Welsh Open this season. Good, we've seen him for quite a while. The only trouble is his safety is good as well.
Well, that good safety shot. Forcing header from Neil Robertson. Ronnie's just looking to see where he needs to put the cue ball to get on pink or black. He'd love to get on the black. Looks very straight on this red. Well, he's got a little angle, so...
One.
He screwed up for the pink and he's overdone that slightly. He's made this a lot more difficult than it should have been. Playing with bottom to try and cannon into the two reds below the spot. That's gone perfect.
7.
These are the sort of moments that O'Sullivan is very strong on. He's known as that Neil be so disappointed he didn't make more than 4 points from an early opening. No, a poor safety shot. Ronnie likes to pounce on them now. Keep them thinking in the chair.
30. 40. 20. 21.
So the black will be going back on his own spot after this next shot. This is where now it starts to get a little bit awkward for Ronnie. Gotta make sure he gets eye on the black.
28.
Come back for these reds. Near the cushion.
29.
And that's just about perfect. So you can elect to play on the loose red or play to cannon. Played for the loose red.
36. 37.
Try to play a clever little shot
44.
there. Try to cannon them two reds and move the one to the left corner. He's a lot thinner on this red than he liked. We've already seen these corner pockets, how tight they are. No problem with the red, he's just lost the cue ball. Knocked the red in very confidently. That was a lovely played
51.
shot as well. Not a bottom slow drag. Very well controlled.
52. $59. 60.
Well, unexpected.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
the
60.
blank. You know, Robertson always carrying on, but not in snookers. O'Sullivan will be back, just one behind the 3-2.
One. Eight. Neil Robertson, 8.
Neil Robertson, of course, entitled to play on. He's 53 points behind, so he won't play on now. But you feel he would have played on because he needs to settle himself if he's had two mental blows in this frame. But he knows, because he knows he's punished people himself enough when they've missed chances, and Sullivan's the expert at that.
6. Six in the frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So Ronnie O'Sullivan then pulls one back and plays Neil Robertson now by 3 frames to 2.
If he'd played it much harder with the bottom, it'd have swung the cue ball into the green. Didn't fancy the shot from green or brown, so he'd done a little roll up behind the yellow. And obviously then he played a loose safety a couple of shots later, which allowed Ronnie then to get in and create that terrific 60 break to get him right back in to this match. Big difference, 4-1 behind to 3-2.
Thank you, frame 6.
Neil Robertson might
Neil
have missed a
Robertson.
trick there. Anyway, he's breaking off now. The 6th frame, got to put that behind him.
Once again, a big audience in, which you'd expect for the final, especially with these two top players in it. And they enjoy these safety bouts. Not for long spells, I shouldn't think, but I think you do appreciate the skill of the players stopping the other player playing. Beautiful setting. Just what the tournament deserves. I must say that this year the Welsh Open has been one of the best I've ever seen, and a great advert to snooker at the moment. And of course we had a few Welsh amateurs that's done very well this week. Jack Jones has qualified in one over in Europe to qualify for the main tour, and he was playing another Welshman, Jamie Clark, in the final, and there was one in the semi, and also in the younger age group. We also had two finalists there, which Tyler is from Llanelli won that one. Welsh snooker on the up. Oh.
Yes, Terry, and it's most pleasing for me this year, obviously playing in the Master Series right around the world for Wales. It's nice that these young lads have come along and done so well, and it's nice in the main event, the European snooker, that we sent some seniors this year that have treated it as it should be treated, and they've got their just rewards. We sent 4 players, 3 of them get into a semis. They haven't done that for quite a few years, but I think that's the fact certain individuals have never given it the respect that it deserves, and as the elder generation, myself, looking on, it's been a little bit hard to swallow. So it's great that proper people are going now, and Wales are getting the results they deserve.
Eight. Nine.
I think Neil is asking the referee something. There's a bit of noise, or perhaps somebody's earphones are up a little bit too loud. As long as it's not an Australian saying something loud, it's okay.
40.
Undoubtedly the best player we've ever seen from Australia. I think before Neil had a few good players, got in close to the top 60, and of course Eddie Charlton, who's not with us anymore. I mean, he was a great player. He's never won the tournaments that Neil's won.
$15.
Well, this is
18.
the chances that crop up sometimes when nothing is in your favour. The pink and black are looking awkward. Many reds to go for.
$90.
Keep having sort of what we call a half awkward shots. They're not very difficult, but just give you a bit more thought about them before you play the shot. You're looking at the blue then, I don't know what to use, perhaps seen a mark on the blue or something. He's changed a few things recently, Darren, hasn't he? He keeps pointing his cue down and bending down, looking down the line of the shots and that
24.
type of thing. I don't know what he's doing that for, really. Seems to be working.
Yes, and you'd have more of an idea of that than myself, but like you said, whatever he's doing it for. I remember Steve Davis doing something very similar,
25.
standing back and dropping the cue onto the line before he got the table, and just, I suppose, double checking that and trusting himself that he was walking in on the right line. But whatever he's doing, it's very effective at the moment. He's having a very good season.
I think he's slowing his rhythm down a bit, just settling himself all the time, and there's something about that. The longer he takes to play, it seems obviously he is on the table longer, though he's not potting the balls all the time, but it just makes you feel that he's playing very well and not missing. And you're not going to be rushing around for Ronnie O'Sullivan's sake, that's for sure. Can't blame him. Neil's one of these players that when he came along to this country, you know, he didn't do very well, went off tour and everything else, and I must say he's worked very, very hard in his game over the years, and now he's one of the top players and likely winner of any event he's in. All credit to him. There's quite a few players on the circuit,
34.
I can tell you, even at the higher level, that feel everything they do is right. They just carry on doing the same things all the time, despite not winning.
$35, yeah.
Ronnie's just sitting there hoping he's going to get another chance.
40.
The Reds are still not in favourable positions really, apart from this first one. He'll be looking now to get a good angle somehow on colour to try and possibly dislodge these four Reds by the black spot.
$41.
Oh, so close there. Didn't quite get enough spin on. He just overhit the
44.
cue ball, and of course it takes longer to start its backward motion then to the next spin on. You can see the arc wasn't quite sharp enough to get into the Reds.
Robertson,
3-2 in front and 44 points in front in this frame, so he's not going to be unhappy. He'll be fully aware that Ronnie O'Sullivan's an expert if you give him a chance later on in the frame. So good at bringing Reds off cushions and His position play is so good. Well, he's brought a few into play, but there's 3 reds on the side cushions and 2 on the back cushions, so there's a lot to do for Ronnie Sullivan if he does get a chance.
Yes, that was the only problem with the shot that Ronnie left. Neil Robertson left him a real easy safety. He would have been playing to stuck that cue ball right up behind the brown then. As it is, he's left only an half chance at this long red. This will take good cueing. We've seen him knock a lot of them in this week. That one wasn't to be. Wasn't far off, it was a good strike. Neil Robertson's back in again. Nicely on the blue to go down for the red on the black spot.
Six. Seven. 40. 15. 22.
So barring snookers.
Robertson 22 on the frame.
Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan's not interested in even having a go at them, so he stays in his seat. So Neil Robertson has got his 2-frame lead back again. He now leads 4 frames to 2.
So just the break off from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's left Neil Robertson a long red on. Quite sure if he can swing around and get onto the black. Well, he was trying to pot it and just come off one cushion, leave the black in the left corner. Hit it much too full. At this level, that's a chance, where the balls were. He had a chance earlier on, Neil, to get 3 frames in front and didn't manage it, so it's hard out there if somebody keeps coming back at you. If Ronnie came back again now to 4-3, then he'll be starting to think, is he ever going to get away? That's what happens out there. That's the mental thoughts of the players. They're all looking for a big lead in the first session.
No real value there for Ronnie. Neil's just going to roll in off the side cushion. I don't think he can get to an edge of these reds to the right, so it'll just be off the side cushion into the cluster. He's just going to have to make sure he doesn't over it. Cue ball. think he's okay. I don't think he can get to the pot and angle of this red to the right, but I think he probably played to go into him a little bit thicker than that. Well, he's left Ronnie a similar sort of shot to the two that he's missed. He's got an half ball red in the left corner. Earlier in the week he'd have gone for this, and he was getting a very high percentage of them in. I just see him play the safety this time. That's what we've done. Can't blame him. He knows if he'd played the pot there and he'd missed it, he'd have been given Neil Robertson an early starter.
I can't really understand why Ronnie Sullivan's changed his shot selections from earlier in the week, because he was brilliant when he was doing that. And okay, people may say that it's tougher against Neil Robertson, it's tougher against all the players. What you've got to do is stick to what you're doing well. On his long pot in this week, he's been outstanding. There is another side of the coin, of course. Neil Robertson be thinking, hello, I don't have to be that tight with my safety. He's not going for the long one, so that gives him a little bit of confidence as well.
One.
Not sure if that was on, but well, if it was, he's played a poor shot. Obviously, he should have been up above the balk line with the cue ball.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Neil Robertson in a little bit of trouble here. Just be trying to get this cue ball tight under this top cushion. I'll be quite happy with that one. If he could have got to the right hand side of the red or the yellow, that's the one he'd have been playing, but we might see him play the same sort of shot as he played last, with the red just below the green. Just the cushion. Again, it'll just be a straight up and down. That's all really he could do there.
I don't think Ronnie Sullivan's had this much safety to play in the whole tournament before this. It was all attacking stuff and a wonderful break building. A different player, Neil. He's tough. Once again, turned a possible long red down. I mean, I don't think it is a good shot to go for, but he would have in the earlier matches. Doesn't seem in the zone at the moment, Sullivan. Of course, if you relax your butt too often, someone's going to come along and kick it. It's going to be Neil Robertson. He looks okay, Ronnie. He's very focused in his chair and just perhaps enjoying a very hard match against a very good opponent. That's what the game's about.
He needs that red to slow down. Neil can get through this, but it's near enough dead straight. It should require absolute perfect cueing. He has got the smallest of angles on this red. Can't imagine he's not going to go for this. Just needs to make sure the pot and then white should come off the side, the bottom cushion. For the black. Always hard, but he's played it to absolute perfection. He couldn't have played that any better. So that was a careless safety from Ronnie O'Sullivan. And, you know, it's quite stark there, the two differences. 33% for Ronnie O'Sullivan, 70% for Robertson. Ronnie against Mark Selby, his long game was absolutely unbelievable. And some of the long pots he went, I don't think Mark Selby could believe he actually went from never mind got him. He's refused quite a few so far in these early frames.
Sometimes it just depends on how you feel at the moment, you know. It's, you look at a shot and think, well, I fancy getting this, and then another day, exactly the same shot, and you think, I better play safe.
16.
Gotta go with your feelings. Sometimes you forget it's the Ronnie O'Sullivan, the person that's out there playing, not Ronnie O'Sullivan, just a snooker player.
70. $24.
Just have a look at the co-action here of Neil Robertson now. I mean, it's top of the tree stuff, to be honest with you. He's dead straight, ramrod straight. He's one of the modern
25.
day players that pulls the cue back quite a long way before he delivers it, but with great accuracy. His grip opens and closes perfectly all the time. That's his
32.
main strength of his cue action.
$33.
Sponsor's logo is coming off. Stuck to the table. Won't be doing much without them when in the sport. Victor across the sponsor here.
$40. $41. $48. $49. Yep.
Again, played that very well.
53.
Played up loads of top and left hand side. He'll be very upset now if he doesn't win this frame and extend his lead. A further frame to 3 with this
54.
effort. And when he gets in amongst the balls, he's looking very, very good. At the moment, his long potting's good, his safety is good.
60.
And when he's getting in, he's scoring good, so it'll be very difficult for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Like we said earlier in the commentary,
61.
he's had it all his own way, really, over the last week here at this Welsh Open. He's played some unbelievable stuff. And you do feel he's going to have to play some more to get back into this match.
68.
For any chance of winning it.
Yes, he got a different opponent today, isn't he? I think Neil is one of the best all-round players on the circuit, together with Mark Selby and John Higgins. I'm not saying O'Sullivan is an all-round player, but he is. But
69.
obviously he's more into the break building. That's when he's at his very best, when he's scoring heavy. Sullivan called him the machine, didn't he, before the match? Playing against the machine.
76. 77.
Well, he did hard enough, but another good break there. 77 from Neil Robertson. Is another frame in front. First time 3 frames in front. He leads by 5 frames to 2.
We saw Ebden do it in the World Championship many years ago when he really slowed Ronnie down. I mean, Robertson's not that slow, but at least he's dictating the pace of the game.
Different kind of game for Ronnie this afternoon in the final, that's for sure. Robertson back at the table, breaking off then, leading 5-2.
Yes, well, he might be dictating the game, but it still hasn't been slow. All these frames have been averaging 13, the shortest frame, minutes, and 17, the longest frame, so it's not long for a frame of snooker. There you go, average frame time, just under 16 minutes, which is not long at all. Okay, when Ronnie gets in and he makes his big breaks, you know, they're 7-8 minutes. Obviously Neil Robertson's a different player to Ronnie O'Sullivan, but he doesn't hang about whilst he's in them. should say in amongst the balls, that is, but it's been quite noticeable so far, like Teddy alluded, depending on how Ronnie's feeling. He has played different in this match to what he's played all week. He's refused a lot of long shots that he's been going for and getting them, and maybe that's the difference at the moment.
I think he's got the gap, you know. He played that quite well. It wasn't an easy safety shot. To watch it didn't wobble in the right corner, the cue ball, but I think he'd have a gap there. Black safe though. Pink is available into at least one of the 4 pockets down here. Well, it was.
1.
Now, is he going to knock this blue in? He is, you know. He's having a go at it. Quite right.
Six.
I think he's sensing now that it could be his day. You know, 6-2 in front if he should win this frame. Long way to go. It'll be a big lead. Even against Ronnie O'Sullivan. He had a bad contact there. He didn't get this intended spin on the cue ball. Made a big difference. He's got quite a thin cut on the blue into the center. You see his cue going back and forth. There's the same number all the time on shots, unless they're very easy ones, and he's only just sort of clearing up towards the end of a frame when he's safe. But his method is very good. He's repeating, he's got a method, he's repeating it under pressure, and that's what it's all about.
Tells you how confident he's starting to feel, Neil Robertson. He went fully all out for that one. Okay, he didn't really have an easy safety shot. And what can Ronnie do? Balls are not in a great position. He's got the red. He's on the colour.
1.
5-3 getting out of here. It's not all lost. At 6-2. I would think it's going to be too big a task, even for the great Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Six. Seven.
Sullivan's best so far has been 60. He's made 2 of those in this match. No centuries as yet. See how he moves these balls about now. I'm going to give those a dig. Oh, Red's going to come back and cover the pocket. Is it for the pink? Just what he didn't need. Well, he's having a look. Must be very tight if he keeps looking down there, because it's a very easy pot if it'll go. Well, it does go. I've seen it is through the far knuckle say it was quite brave to play that shot.
90.
No room for error at all then.
20.
It's going to be one more good pot. Needed.
25.
There wasn't much room there at all. In off that right jaw. Well, he didn't want the cannon on the pink. He is on this pink. It's a lot thinner down the cushion than he'd have liked. And he has got a shot on the blue. He played a drag past that pink then. This is a real tester. Straight into the middle of the pocket, nicely on the red.
$31. 32. $37. 38. $43.
Well, that was a great
44.
pot. But unfortunately, he's caught the other red. There wasn't much of a gap for him to get through there. Just going to be the safety. He's limited as well to what he can play off.
Brown.
Well, he said brown, and he can hit that black full in the face. So, Neil Robertson will have this back.
It's 11-44, Neil Robertson.
If Ronnie plays the same shot here, and he misses it, he will get warned, and he is awkward queuing.
It's closer. Yep.
And he is.
Thanks. Brown ball.
That's not far away, is it? Has he got it this time? No, he's not. Well, I can't imagine that he's going to play the same shot. He's just going to have to play onto the black this time. And again, it's awkward queuing. He fouls this time, he loses the frame.
Brown ball. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, Ronnie there didn't realise it's the three misses, but Neil has shouted down the table. You need to warn him, it's the three misses. He's got a big smile on his face, Neil Robertson. He made sure that he was aware, because if the referee doesn't warn Ronnie, he wouldn't lose the frame from it. I can't imagine he's going to play the same shot. Well, this should just be crazy. He can hit the black full ball, he can drop on the black, he can play half ball off the black. He's coming off the side cushion, just to drop in behind it. He must hit this black now, which he's done.
Big difference if that white gone in there. It would have been well in hand from Neil Robertson with the long red on. Looks like he's playing a pot here. Just a little bit on the thin side. If he'd cut that thick, he would have cannoned the reds on the left-hand side.
Clever shot there. Anything much better than that. That was top draw. And Neil Robertson in all kinds of trouble this time. He tries to come off this red to the left of the black. Have to make sure he catches it very thin. The corner pocket's going to come into play. He's just having a little look if he can play the half ball up and down and put the white somewhere in behind the black. He's elected the slow roll. And the only problem with that shot, he's always going to give Ronnie a shot at this red, either to centre or to the green pocket. It's not an easy pot, but it's one he'll be going for. Well, he's had a kick. I don't think it makes any difference to the red. The red's gone in, but the cue ball has been lost. That was a massive kick. Now that's more like the way Ronnie has played all week.
4.
You'd have known if he'd missed the yellow. He was giving Neil Robertson an easy opportunity to get back into this frame. Okay, it had a bit of a wobble before it went in, but it was a positive shot. He's not quite past the winning post. This colour, another red.
$15. 16.
Well, he did actually play just a stun on the black to roll it across a cush, but he's going to have to play a safety now.
Neil Sullivan,
Yes,
16.
don't blame Neil Robertson coming back to the table. He wants 2 4-point snookers. Or one 4-point snooker and a free ball. Balls are in quite good positions. The green and blue especially. Well, if that had missed the green on the way down, that would have been a real good snooker. Well, there's a possibility of this pot down the cush for Ronnie, and if it goes in, that'll be the end of frame. And it has gone in, so that will be the end of frame. Neil Robertson will just be collecting his stuff together to leave the arena. So I think Ronnie O'Sullivan will be probably the happier of the two. Could have been so much worse for him. Neil Robertson's played very well in this session. Breaks of 78, 76 and 77. Ronnie hasn't been quite as good as what we've seen him all week, but he's now still in this match. And the crowd would love to just see a couple more shots played. They'll have enjoyed this afternoon's session of snooker.
14.
Both players haven't hung about. An exhibition shot, and you do feel that when he's letting his cue go and going for his shots, he looks as good as he's done all week. He just rolls the pink in, so Ronnie O'Sullivan, he was 3 behind. He's now back to only 2 behind. Neil Robertson's got the lead for tonight's session. He leads 5-3.
Clash of the Titans, the 2 best players of the week so far have made it to the final. Ronnie O'Sullivan, as you know, has been in an unbelievable form. He was put to the test this afternoon and came out second best. Neil Robertson dominated the afternoon session.
Ronnie O'Sullivan
slowed Ronnie down a little bit, which you'd expect, and played the more attacking stuff and made the highest breaks in the match so far. So Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off, 5-3 behind. I know you did most of the afternoon session, Darren. How did you think the match went in your opinion?
Probably it was a true reflection, really. 5-3 up to Neil Robertson. I think he was more the positive out of the two. What was quite noticeable is Ronnie O'Sullivan turned down a lot of the long shots that he'd been going for all week and getting them. He's trying to be a little bit too careful. But so on reflection, I suppose it was a fair result, 5-3. I think Ronnie would have been happy with that.
Black out of play, so may decide to pop this, and he's once again having trouble with that little tip. He's got some fibre hanging off the edge. Just done across the face of the pink, with the pink in the opposite middle. Try to go up a blue or bought colour. So the long ones have not been going in today so far.
Yes, and that's probably been a strong part of his game all week. Against Mark Selby, it was quite frightening. But it's quite low for him today, 43%. Robertson has landed. Well, he's on pink or black. And when Ronnie did miss that red then, when he played it at pace, the one red come across and disturbed the black, and a couple of reds to make the balls into a potable position. This is just what Neil Robertson would have wanted before he came out. Nice early opportunity just to settle himself down. The butterflies will be jangling there.
Pretty sure the black will still pot. I think it goes back onto its own spot. I think it's just off its spot at the moment. It'll certainly be available into one of the corners, if not both.
8.
There's now the angle to move one of the two reds just above the black. It seems to be virtually straight. I think you can run around 2 cushions. At least one of the 2 reds will pot in the opposite corner to the black. It almost goes unnoticed what a great break builder Robertson is. And to have made 100 competitive centuries 2 seasons ago, I think that's a feat that will never ever be done again.
15.
But very soon the black will be fell into both corners. A very good early chance.
16. $23. $24.
Very good striker of the ball, Neil Robertson, when he first came over. Quite abundant, he had a load of talent. Fantastic potter. The last couple of years, he's improved his safety and his break building, which has
31.
turned him into the player he currently is. Used to pot ridiculous balls all the time, for get out of
30.
position and then have to knock a good one in, and that's what he would do. But now his positional play is second to none.
Split's turned out nice. He was never really going to get onto one into the bottom pocket of that split.
13.
The fact that he caught that red slightly full just meant that there's only one available into the middle. That piece of mistake, just when I thought he was going to go on to possibly win the frame at that visit. Just a relatively easy pot. First glance, it looked like he may have covered it, but I'm sure Ronnie can swerve round if he doesn't fancy anything else. Decided to take the long pot, play for green or brown. A little bit betwixt and between, not nicely on the green, not nicely on the yellow, but with the red being over the middle, shouldn't be any problem at all.
He certainly got into that yellow. Another 2 or 3 inches and this red would have been unpottable. I think it'd be a bit of a relieved Ronnie there.
4.
Of course, Neil Robertson, with his last effort, would have been expecting probably to have won this frame and re-established his 3-frame lead. We'll talk about body blows and turning points in matches, and could this be the turning point that Ronnie's been looking for?
He'll be playing in an area this time, playing for the choice of 2 reds, one in the middle or one in the corner. And when you're not settling, when you've not settled in the early part of the match, it's always best to play for choice of 2. A bit shorter, would have been on the middle. The fact that he's played it there is on the one in the bottom.
7.
And now has an excellent chance to get right back into the frame, if not win it.
$14. 15.
Well, he had a kick there. He won't have the cue ball clean. He had a horrendous one this afternoon in frame 3, which could have cost him the frame. Took all the pace out of the cue ball. That one didn't. Once again, Ronnie hasn't had it cleaned.
22.
I think it's a pretty good way, really. It doesn't knock you out of the rhythm if you keep going. Other
23.
players have it clean any sign of a kick. Maybe they'll decide to do it a little bit different from now on, because you never very rarely see 2 kicks on the trot.
Thirty. 31.
Well, he could play the risky shot and try and move the red from the side cushion. He can obviously just drag back for the 2 reds to the right, which he's done. Can't blame him for playing it that way. He's right back in this
37.
frame now. But he is going to need that awkward red on the left cushion.
Yes, now the work
30.
starts, doesn't it? You can see him getting the 1 remaining loose red, but 2 reds that are on the cushion. He needs both of those. So they'll be looking for the angle this time on either pink or blue to get that cannon.
44.
It's come a little bit thin to get onto either of those colours, so may have to go for yellow or green. The reason I say yellow or green, because he wants to be on it half ball to get back into the middle of the table there. He's got perfect on the green. Also just perfect on the brown. I think but the green may have been easier to get onto the one next to the black, but he's decided the brown. That wiped its feet, but the position is perfect.
49.
And now if he gets on the half ball black, he's got an excellent chance to bring the last red out.
50.
And that's also perfect. The only thing that can go wrong here is a double kiss. It's bound to be on the red in either the middle or the corner. Decision time. Do I play the pot or do I play
57.
safe?
It's a very well played shot. No point really in taking the risk on that red. He'd probably pot it 1 in 10. Only if Neil Robertson got to make contact with this red, he's somehow got to get it safe. He'd have to come off the 2 cushions and get right in behind the red.
There's a slight chance he could swerve around the yellow and try and make the angle, which he is doing, but of course if he misses the red, he's sure to cannon into the black. That was the problem.
Foul. Miss.
That'll be
Neil
put back.
Sullivan 7.
Yes, and looking at that, I don't think he could get much more side on the cue ball. Maybe that shot isn't quite on. It's imperative the cue ball goes back in the exact same place this time.
Wasn't much.
I think he's just suggesting it's a little bit further off the cushion than that, so he could get. He can't really get to the bottom of the cue ball if it's that close to the cushion, and he could easily got to the bottom of the cue ball.
Yeah, you could see the blue football, that's why. Yeah.
So he'll probably have one more go at this. Once again, as Darren suggested, not bound to get the desired amount of side. But playing it slower has forced the angle. And that's a very good shot. Will he leave a shot to nothing for O'Sullivan? He has. Not been potting too many long ones today. The rest of the week, they've been potting everything. Head on the thin side to make sure he got a good white. That was a long way off, wasn't it? He knows the importance of this frame.
Another attempter for Ronnie. This is a shot he'll be practice a lot of. Well, he was a lot closer that time. This frame is still in the balance. The way these balls are situated, all it's going to take is one good pot.
Not the best safety shot Neil's ever played. If he wanted to play the cut, he could do with left-hand side, but he might just drag it in behind the black and pink. Well, he's played the pot. But it wasn't a great safety shot from Neil Robertson. And that time he played a shot for something. Played it slow enough for the side to take.
1.
26 points in front, just colour needed.
Three.
Well, 28-point lead. That was an
Ronnie
unexpected
O'Sullivan,
miss, but Brian Snooker's Ronnie O'Sullivan will be right back in the match at 5-4.
Two. Five.
Neil Robertson was in first with a break of 39. Mr. Red in to the middle pocket and looked like going 6-3 in front. Ronnie O'Sullivan in with the 57, which is taking him over the winning line in this frame. This is just a little bit of practice now.
14. $20.
So it was a frame that could have gone either way. Robertson was favourite, but O'Sullivan made a 57 break to pinch it. O'Sullivan back in the match now. It's 5-4.
And you wouldn't expect him to be once again here.
No, that just, you know, it's those little infinitesimal errors or poor runs of the ball that can make such a difference in a match of this high quality. And, you know, that was a really good frame to watch. I enjoyed that. I mean, it was close. It was all on the last red in the end, really, even though the scores were in Ronnie's favour. One mistake on that red, I'm sure Neil would have won that frame.
Yeah, it's all about the small margins. Let's go back then with Robertson's lead now, just a single frame, 5-4.
And Ronnie, he was looking for the thinnest of edges there, and that was thin air. And normally Neil would have had this back, but he won't this time because he got a shot to this left corner. Oh, that's a great pot. Well, I'm saying a foul. He wouldn't have had it back because there was no foul. He must have got the thinnest of edges. What a great pot that was. Quite a positive character, Neil Robertson. There's not a lot that phases him. He's a very clever player. Sometimes in amongst the balls he can be quite deliberate. I think depending on who he's playing.
9.
He's a real class act.
$16. $70.
Still got a couple of loose reds before we go into the punch, but decided to go into them on that occasion. Fortunately for him, the cue ball didn't arc quick enough there. If the cue ball arcs quicker,
24.
the white catches the full ball of the front red, but he would have slowed the white down. They have left choice of shots here. There's a plant that's on, and also he's had a look at the plant. He's having another look at it. Looks set from there, but where the cue ball is, it's very tough to be guaranteed. You think he'd may take the long one on instead rather than the plant.
I think he's been slightly unfortunate there as well, hasn't he? And unless his plant is straight to this corner, there's a lot of distance, like Willie said, between both balls. But in the last frame, he went into them positively. He did land on that red to the centre, but it wasn't easy. And again, the same this time. The red's gone in. He's nicely on the pink. So it's worked out okay for him. I think he deserves that, mind. He played a real positive shot off the black. He couldn't have hit the cue ball any harder. Didn't go into him tentative, that's for sure.
Well, missed an easy ball in the previous frame when looking like taking the frame. Is missed an easy ball in this frame. That was always it in the near jaw. When I say easy, it wasn't the easiest pot, of course, but I expected him to get it.
1. $8. $9. $16. $7. $24.
With every pot that's going in, this will be hurting Neil Robertson. Wasn't that long ago.
25.
He was 3 frames ahead. And the way the balls are situated and the way Ronnie's starting to look, you wouldn't bet against him levelling up in this match.
$32.
Yes, the balls are in a lot better position than they were in the previous frame, where Ronnie made the break of 57 to get past the winning line in that frame. So just 5 more of the remaining 6 reds with colours. Should take him over the winning line in this frame. That would be a bit of a body blow for Neil. He could have won both the opening frames. Looks like he could now lose them.
38. $39. $46. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 46.
He's looking at his tip. He's missed that one. He played a pile of other good shots. Just caught that a little bit thin. He didn't quite get onto that red right from the black the previous shot. You know, Robertson isn't going to mind. He would have thought he's lost that frame. And what a great red. They don't come much better than that. Obviously, if Robertson can go on now, get right back into this frame, maybe even pinch the frame now. It's funny saying pinch when it looks like he was going to win it in the first place, and then sort of sway towards Ronnie. This is massive in the context of this final.
Ronnie all week has hardly missed a ball when he's in play on any sort of break. He's virtually
16.
every time made a frame-winning break from the position he was in. Today it's not been quite the same.
70.
Now the blues just about right to get him behind the 2 reds in the get on the 2 reds into the pocket near where the pink is. From the pink he can't really get onto the 2 reds nicely. So thin as you like, it's all about judging the pace right. Probably have to play with a little bit of right hand side just to kind of widen the angle a little bit to drop in behind those 2 reds. Obviously it must be thinner than it looks from our commentary position. Maybe feels he can't get it slow enough to get in behind those 2 reds. He's played it. Wow. I didn't see that coming.
Robertson, 70.
Very shaky start from these 2 great players.
That'll be a relief for Neil Robertson that he didn't find the position from the blue. Positive shot. Wasn't far away. Give Ronnie another chance.
1.
He's cued that. Very good indeed. Straight into the middle of the pocket. It's all about this shot. This one goes in. I think it's frame winner and match leveler. And in goes the red. Good choices.
Twelve. Well,
this is going to be running all sorts of confidence the way that Neil's missed easy chances.
70.
So without doing too much, a little glance at the scoreboard will tell him that he's going to win the opening 2 frames after potting this brown. Hasn't had to do too much.
21. 26.
Little exhibition shot
32
there
on the
from
frame.
Ronnie. Pink the black.
O'Sullivan.
Doesn't really matter about the black. He's won the frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan, this is just the start he was looking for tonight. Neil Robertson, it's not the start he wanted. Ronnie's now level. It's 5 frames.
You might see some big breaks and far less errors. Who knows? But there's a lot of pressure out there. It's the final.
5-2 down at one point, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Now level at 5-5.
Without playing at his best. Neil Robertson has let Ronnie off the hook a little bit here. He was dominating the first session of play. Has been in first on the 2 occasions in these first 2 frames. Not necessarily he's looking at the plant, but he'd be more concerned of getting good wide. I think we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he probably thought it might be going off that second red, but it looked like he was playing the plant direct. Let's have another look. Well, in fairness, I think he probably played it that way.
Neil Robertson 1.
Well, Neil suggesting that may have drifted a little bit. Obviously played to get tight behind the yellow. The thing is, when you're playing that slow, if you don't hit it centre ball, the side will take.
All of a sudden, I start to go in for Ronnie. That was very well struck indeed. Not a great position at the moment. There's only a couple of reds
6.
out, and black I think will go to the one pocket. I definitely won't go to the other one. So a little bit of work to be done.
7.
Probably see him play the pink left centre. Just come down for the red just above the black. Try and clear things up there.
Well, this isn't the Ronnie O'Sullivan or the Neil
Ronnie
Robertson we've been
O'Sullivan
seeing throughout the week. They're both missing a few. The tension of the final.
One.
Very similar to the pink that Neil Robertson missed in the previous frame, wasn't it? I think Neil Robertson's was slightly more difficult than that. Both pinks you'd expect these two great players to pot. His expression tells us he thought he had a big bounce there.
8.
I haven't quite worked out what that does when you kind of brushing the cushion there. I mean, what does it do? I mean, all you're doing is suggesting how to bounce.
I think that's it, is to make sure that everybody knows.
As it happens, the bounce did him a favour because he's finished absolutely perfect. The old flat backpack. Not guaranteed to get on one here. He has to play the stun through one of the outside ones. Doesn't want to kiss any of them full ball. There's 4 reds in a line. Half ball on any of them is okay. We'll be pushing one towards the middle. Doesn't like the pack at all, does he? I don't think he's even playing the cannon. It shows you how awkward it is when they're flat at the back like that.
16. Well,
he's going to have to come up with a shot because he's landed very straight on this black. He's looking at the one to the green pocket. Red right on the outside. Can he get to it to the middle? If he can get to the middle, that's where he'll be playing it. Otherwise,
24.
he's over it, that one.
Every player has his own way of breakboarding. He's giving himself plenty to do here. That's the problem when you don't go into the pack when you maybe have the first chance. You may not get a better chance, and that's the equation here. 3 shots ago, had the perfect angle to, okay, the pack was flat, but at least he could have stunned up into them. So Ronnie will be sitting there thinking, well, you know, I could have been more behind than this. In the match, 11 out of 16 long pots for Neil Robertson, so his normal long potting is very good. Not quite as good as normal.
Robertson 25.
Was a risky one. Put all his eggs in one basket there. Lost his discipline a little bit. He wasn't guaranteed position even if he'd made that pot.
1.
Obviously for Neil, it's important he gets a frame on the board tonight. Every frame that goes by, he's going to get that little bit harder. He knows he's had his chances to win the opening 2 frames, and he's not capitalised on them.
6. Seven.
Depends on whether these reds are in a possible plant. You can see they're not in the plant from that pocket. There may be a plant in the other corner. We may be able to show you that in a few moments. Ronnie playing for the loose one, so he's a good angle on the, and the reds will split perfectly. If he gets on the half ball blue or the half ball pink and goes into those 4 reds, he'll be pushing one to both corners.
30.
Playing for the loose one this time. Let's have a look at these 4 reds, see if there's any plants anywhere. We know there's not one in the right-hand corner. You can see there's not one in the left-hand corner, so he's going to have to play a good shot on the black. Bring them into play. Doesn't really matter if he hits it full ball this time, because he's going to be pushing one towards the middle. Ideally, he'd like to miss the first red and hit the outside of the others. That was the problem. He was always going to push one towards the middle. But he could have done with catching that half ball, not full ball. There's the full ball. He says it's amazing the difference it makes when you catch some full ball. It just deadens the white.
29.
Once again playing for choice of reds.
36.
Hard to see him not taking the lead now. The first time in this
37.
match. Lost the opening 2.
$44. 45.
The lead goes to 26. So just the red needed. Hasn't been vintage O'Sullivan this evening, but he hasn't had to play at his best. Neil Robertson has given him far too many chances this evening.
53.
That's another frame on the board.
$58. 60.
O'Sullivan's highest break of the match so far has been 60 in frames 3 and 5. He's going to eclipse that here.
63.
But it's already his highest break in the match so far.
$67.
Should be able to pot this one. No pot this time, but the 67 more than enough for Ronnie O'Sullivan to take the lead in the match for the very first time. He leads 6-5.
Yes, that's the only thing I can think of is he's played the red thinking there's a gap there, because he has been disciplined all day with the shot selection that he's picked. He hasn't really given Ronnie O'Sullivan any easy chances, other than tonight when he's missed a couple of balls whilst he's been in. His safety's been very strong and he's played all the right shots, but that one there, it all went wrong, didn't he? He missed a pot, he didn't get the right cannon, and obviously he's lost a frame through it.
Yeah, we're talking about 3 missed pots, aren't we, for Robertson so far in the evening, all of which, okay, that one was quite difficult, but the previous 2 frames, very easy pots for him.
Thank you, Frank. 12. Neil Robertson to break.
Yes, well, I won't say the panic alarm will be going just yet. There's no way he's feeling as good as he did as he walked into the arena tonight. That's for sure. And he really needs now, I think it's imperative, he takes this frame before the mid-session interval.
Yeah, good point, Darren. I think this is a bigger frame for Neil Robertson now than it is for Ronnie. Ronnie will be just delighted to have got back into the match the way he's been playing. He's needed 2 chances in every frame so far this evening, and he's got them. You don't usually get that at this level.
One far away with that one. It's quite funny tonight. It's a different atmosphere there tonight. The crowd are getting quite involved. So now, come on, Ronnie. I'm sure there's some Neil Robertson fans in there as well. It's good to see.
Well, Neil Robertson's made more mistakes in this opening 4 frames this evening than he's made in the tournament so far. Well, does that seem to push a little bit square, that cut? Well, he may or may not have played that. I think he was probably trying to screw past the pack to go for blue or bought colour. We'll have a little look at that. Because the pace he played it, he couldn't rely on hitting this pink half ball. Yeah, I think he's played blue or bought colour there, so that's a little bit fortunate to have pink or black available. How many more pinks are they going to miss tonight? That's the 4th pick that's been missed in the middle.
One.
Well, he'd love to import in this pink, disturb the red and black. That'll do. He's nicely on the red, the right centre.
7.
See, pink spot is taken.
Eight.
This is a real good chance now, and you feel that Neil Robertson's got to craft something with this effort. Fancy his chances going 2 behind. This is massive for him.
Played the full ball cannon on the black there just to push it away. Thought the black 3/4 ball, but he's still on this red.
$15.
That's not his best. He'll be hampered queuing here.
21.
Very disappointed with that shot. Yep, that wasn't a bad shot. It was the one before, the shot on the pink. It was awful. He's feeling it big time. Just concentrated so hard on not finishing straight on the red along the cushion. He just completely mishit it and left himself hampered over the pink. As in the first 3 frames, he's been in first and not put the frame to bed. Ronnie O'Sullivan's been playing catch up every frame. Every frame so far he's done it.
Waters played.
7.
He'll take it. Need to go around the back of that red. Handy little kiss.
8.
If that pink spot is still covered, and pot in this black is going to go as close to its own spot as possible. So, well, pink goes. So there's no problem. Not much room there. Just concentrate, obviously, on the pink.
40. $15.
The red at the back of the pack will pot into the right-hand corner, so he can play for that. And as Darren mentioned, he won't be playing to pot the black until the pink spot's available. Bounced a little bit higher
21.
than he thought. He's looking at the plant as well as the red at the back of the pack. The plant's on and the one at the back.
$22.
And he probably wishes he'd played the plant now, because he's going to have to get a lot of cue ball speed on this to get there. Not too sure if he's gotten high enough, has he? He's played for the red at the
28.
in the bunch in the middle, and his body language tells me he's not on it. That's the one he's played for, the one in the middle of those three reds. Is he playing the plant or just the safety? Playing the plant. That's more like the O'Sullivan we've been watching all week. Very dangerous plant, but made to look very easy.
Yes, and O'Sullivan all week. He'd be going for this yellow or taking the long blue. He potted a couple of long blues, I guess, against Mark Selby, but it's the yellow tonight. 3 hours. This match has been going. Nicely negotiated.
Now it doesn't matter
31.
if he pots the black or the pink, because we're back onto the pink spot.
$32.
So every frame Robertson's been in first. Every frame he looks like he could possibly lose it.
$39. 40.
Just having a look at the scoreboard here. He's trying to work out whether he would need one of the two reds. If he pots blacks with these remaining three reds, I think I've worked it out to be 43 in front. Look at the scoreboard. He doesn't want to make a mistake. Mark Selby did exactly the same thing where he miscounted. Ended up having to
48.
play a shot off the black, which shouldn't have been doing. Could move the red out here, but the fact that he's red and black puts him 44 in front,
55.
he probably relinquished the fact of moving the red. He would normally move it without a question.
56.
Something wrong with Ronnie O'Sullivan's maths. He can now have a go at this red where he'd normally,
63.
say for instance he was 42 in front, he might not have a go at this red at the pace. He can actually just drop this in now, knowing that the worst that can happen is Robertson can draw. Well, it's a lot better performance from Ronnie this evening than it was this afternoon, but neither player this evening
70.
has played anywhere near their best. But O'Sullivan will be cock-a-hoop the fact that he's been given chance after chance.
7 behind the frame.
Neil Robertson, I think, is conceding. Yes, he is. So Ronnie O'Sullivan's with the opening 4 frames. He's gone from 5-3 behind. He now leads by 7 frames to 5. 2 away from victory.
This final here in Cardiff, 5-2 down during the first session. Ronnie O'Sullivan now leading Neil Robertson 5-7, 2 frames away from victory. Let's join Willie Thorne and Terry Griffiths.
Thank you, frame 13.
Thank you, Ian.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
It's a big turnaround in this match, but still a way to go. Just going to wonder if the interval has helped Neil to calm down a little bit and give him some time to think. Because when you're out there and losing frames that you're hoping to win, it's very difficult to clear your mind sometimes. Oh, he's very strong normally. Won't be surprised if he comes back with Ronnie.
Yeah, I think we're just discussing off mic, Terry, before the players came out, that every frame he was in front in those first 4 frames of the evening session. And normally you'd expect Neil to win at least 3 of the 4 frames when he's in first. Didn't win any of them, so he's now got his back against the wall for the first time this week.
Good attempt, but you can't get anything for close, I'm afraid. These are the type of shots that Robertson's got to be knocking in now. Where's the shots to give him the confidence? He must have lost a bit. It's not that he's played that bad, it's just the odd shot here and there he's missed that's been costly.
Yes, I think in some ways we're expecting too much out of these 2 great players coming into this final. Common knowledge that everybody accepts that Ronnie O'Sullivan has been exceptional this week. Neil Robertson in his own way has been almost just as good. And I think we're expecting a little bit too much. But Neil's going to have to be very careful now. If he went 8-5 behind, he'd find it hard for him to win it. So this was a massive frame.
Seven. Eight.
How's the split? Looks good at first glance, but he's pushed the pink safe. Reds are perfect.
30.
Pink and black at the minute, slightly out of commission.
$14. $19.
Decision time. Does he risk playing to get onto the black in the middle pocket to get the black back onto its own spot? A little bit too risky to take the pink, even though it will go on the black spot. Played up for the blue. He didn't want to risk getting onto the black in the middle just in case he got the wrong angle. He's going to have to do that pretty soon, though. We won't be winning the frame off the blue alone.
$25. $26.
Nice little kiss on the blue.
$31. $32.
Good pot there from Ronnie, but you're not got a good angle on the blue, so you have to pull out another one. Not so bad this time. When the pot and angle is a little
37.
thicker, the players prefer it, but they don't like them too thin.
$38.
Yes, we've said many times in commentary, it's so difficult to win the frame off just blue and bought colours, and here's an example here, how tough it is. He'd love to get the black on the spot now. He's moving this red away because it gives him room to get the black into both pockets, so can't do it off this one. This is his 7th blue coming up. I just wonder whether he's going to possibly win the frame. I've not seen many frames won off just blue alone. This is a possibility now.
$49. $50.
Overdone it a little bit this time. Just hold for the red there. Didn't have a lot to play with.
55. $56.
He likes the challenge, doesn't he, of all blues, I think. Well, you know what he's like. He likes the safety challenge sometimes if it's a good safety played against him. When he's in the right frame of mind, he can do anything.
I mean, can you remember... I bet you can count on one hand if you've ever won a frame off just potting the blues. He's got 8 blues and 1 pink. This would be the 9th blue. And he's 1 red away from making that a reality. Remarkable.
61.
So this virtually frame ball. Not this time though, so a lifeline for Neil Robertson.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 61.
No, they can Neil dig something up here. You must be feeling it. Should have been closer to Ronnie O'Sullivan at least. I'm not saying in front. Now then, is this black available? Very thin at the centre. It's funny, you feel sometimes when you're in this position, you just got to go for them anyway, you know, and it's not quite like that, but 60 points behind. He went for the double.
Lee Robertson, 1.
He's not going to get another shot, I shouldn't think.
1.
Okay, you can say that was very positive, but there was easier pots than that. But of course, the black would have gone back on the spot, which he needed because he was well behind. One of the great things about this game of snooker, every time you visit the table, you have to make a decision.
7.
And you've got to stand or fall by your decision.
That's 11 blues he's taken in this frame. Amazing.
12.
Not seen many frames like this, but it won't worry Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's 1 away from victory
13.
now. Try and get on the blow off this red then, Ronnie.
$18.
So that's enough there from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Neil Robertson sitting there now with lost 6 frames on the spin. It's a tough place, but Ronnie O'Sullivan just needs 1 more frame to win the Welsh Open once again.
The lead now for O'Sullivan, 8-5.
It's been done before. Mark Selby, of course, against Ronnie was 8-5 behind in one of the tournaments. I think it was in the Masters, and came back to win the last 5 frames to pinch the match. And certainly 4 frames. So it has been done against Ronnie. But maybe not tonight. That's the kind of shots he's been knocking in all week.
1.
All these great players are great when they get into a position to win the frame and match. They usually
8.
make a sizable break. There's 3 loose reds on at least, if not 4. So Ronnie can certainly get a sizable lead in this frame, and he'll be going into the bunch as early as possible. I think that's been the key difference in this match. In the first 3 frames this evening, Robertson didn't go into the pack early enough.
$16. 70.
Thought about missing the first red. He can probably leave this red low and then bring the other reds into play. That's what he's done now, so he'll be bringing another 2 reds into play. Looks like he's going to have to push it through quite hard, because I think he's hitting the first red virtually full ball, so he may screw off them. Yeah, screwing off them, but not guaranteed to get nice.
25.
He hasn't. So this is a pressure shot. That was a pressure pot made to look very easy, as it has been all week so far.
30. 31. 36.
It's amazing how you see these turnarounds in matches, especially the longer matches like first to 9. Don't get them, of course, in the early rounds when it's first to 4, but seen in the World Championships many times. And of course, the player in front starts to defend. He just it's not that he's just losing frames and losing a good lead like Neil did today. Mentally, it hurts you, and you perhaps lose the peacefulness you have out there when you're playing really well. Everything seems
52.
a little more difficult. You haven't lost yet, though. Neil beat Andrew Higginson in Newport in the Welsh Open. He was 8-6 behind and came back to win 9-8. So Andrew Higgs made a 1-4-7.
The red just below the pink will pot, the red just to the right of the pink will pot. So this clearly now frame and match winning opportunity. But as always, Ronnie O'Sullivan, even though there's a couple of reds on, he felt there was a more advantage going into the bunch. And this time, he's not left himself anything straightforward. Okay, the red in the middle is on. But the fact the pink's gone where it is, he's going to have to play it a lot harder than he would do normally. He needs to get top side of the pink unless he screws back for the black. And he's playing top side of the pink, which means he can get onto the blue.
61.
And now they're there for the taking for frame and match.
$66. 67.
That is frame and match ball. Ronnie O'Sullivan's been disappointed today, to be fair, the way he's played all week.
74.
But he came into this final session back clearly against the wall, trailing by 5 frames to 3. He's won every frame this evening, and now can he finish with a century?
82.
He's made
83.
9 centuries in this magnificent performance from Ronnie O'Sullivan this evening. Made a century in every match so far, apart from this one. This could change in a few moments' time.
90. 91.
Not a natural angle to break these two reds into play. Has to play a little stun run through. Unlucky. He's going to have to play a plant. The crowd deserve a century.
98.
And they might just get one. Normal service resumed.
106. 107.
I don't know how he's done it today, to be honest. He's been out of sorts. Neil Robertson will be so disappointed. He gave Ronnie so many chances in the opening 3 or 4 frames. Could have won them all. But O'Sullivan has dug deep this evening. And he'll be delighted. He'll be buzzing inside now.
119.
And if he clears, This will be the 5th break over 140 in this tournament. Unbelievable standard.
123.
I think the record was only 4 of above 140.
128. 134.
The man is very special. So is Neil Robertson. But Ronnie O'Sullivan is the man that's taken away with his trophy. He clears with a magnificent break of 141. Neil Robertson can only congratulate. A standing ovation from this packed Cardiff Arena. Ronnie O'Sullivan is once again the Welsh Open champion for the 4th time. Congratulations, Ronnie. He wins by 9 frames to 5.
Well, our runner-up, Neil Robertson, commiserations. It was a match that just got away from you tonight.
Yeah, the first frame was key. You know, I got in the balls and you know, split the reds on 30 odd, and if I land nicely on a red, you know, go 6-3, and I think it's a completely different match after that. But you know, just missed a couple of awkward ones, and you know, once he got his tail up, and you know, got the momentum of the match, it was very hard to wrestle it back from him. You know, he's a terrific front runner, as everyone knows, and you know, he just pulled away and you know, finished the match off in great style.
When you were 5-3 up at one point, what was the moment where you thought it was beginning to perhaps slip away for you?
I mean, I was getting the chances. I was potting good long ones. The problem was that you know, I mean, that was the first time in the match where he actually potted a long ball to get in. So, yeah, unfortunately, it was from a lot of my own mistakes, and but that's what happens. You know, when you put under pressure, you make mistakes, and you know, I just that few frame spell from 5-3 to sort of where he went 6-5 up, I had enough opportunities to win those frames, and I guess that's where it got away from me, and he played some terrific stuff from then on.
You've more than played your part, though, Neil, in what's been another thrilling Wales Open. I mean, you must be pleased up to this point with how it's gone for you.
Yeah, very pleased getting to the final with, you know, the way I played improved as every match went on. And then obviously establishing a 5-3 lead, you know, I was looking really good. And like I say, that first frame, you know, 5-4 and 6-3 is a big difference. And, you know, there's always momentum changes in sporting matches, and that was one of them. And I just couldn't wrestle back the momentum.
Well, I'm sure you will be back. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the run-up, Neil Robertson. Ronnie, many congratulations. You've done it again.
Yeah, I'm obviously delighted, but just want to say, you know, well done to Neil again, making another final, winning the UK Champions Cup. He's been the best player all season. You know, I've only played 2 events, so you have to take me out of the equation. But this guy is his game's really improved so much. His safety's good. I mean, he played probably about 75–80% today, and he's definitely the best player in the world at the moment. And I'm just pleased that I've been able to compete with him. And Neil was right, you know, he had his chances, but I just kept hanging in there, and I just thought I just want to make him earn it. You know, if he's going to win it, he's got to earn it. So I just kept trying to keep him honest.
You had a terrific Masters campaign last month, of course. You finished that very well, but to come back from 5-2 down in this and to win 7 frames in a row, I mean, you know, where does that rank for you?
Well, the scoreline is kind of irrelevant when you're talking about, you know, people like me and Neil playing, because it's just normally it's, you know, if we're playing a game, it's one visit. And, you know, if one player gets momentum, they can knock 4 or 5 frames in on the spin. So I kind of just thought, just stay in there and try and stay patient. And if you build a bit of momentum, then, like, you know, just try and put each other under pressure, so as the opportunities come a bit easier. But you know, I'm pleased. I've had a fantastic week. I mean, I played so much better this week than I did at the Masters. I struggled at the Masters, but this week I felt like I found some fluency, and even if I'd have lost today, I'd still had a great week. You know, the fans have been amazing, you know, and everyone's been great. Yeah?
I think they've enjoyed having you here, and you've made history, Ronnie. You've equalled John Higgins' record for winning this tournament for a 4th time. I mean, how does that feel?
I feel better if I get it 5 times.
That's got to be the aim now, isn't it?
Listen, I mean, to be honest with you, I feel shattered. You know, I need a month of just relaxing there, just to recharge the batteries and try and give Sheffield a good push. You know, because that's the one everyone wants.
It certainly is. Will you play any more big tournaments before Sheffield?
I'm not eligible. I didn't play in China. I've not qualified for any of the other events. So you know, my queue will just be chilling out for a month or so. I've got Condon Park, a few exhibitions, and a bit of work with Eurosport. Sorry to get it in BBC, but
you've got another plug in. Thanks very much. Well, listen, the crowd have loved you throughout the week here, Ronnie. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016 Welsh Open champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
OK, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the trophy and the money. Please welcome our presentation party, World Snooker CEO Steve Dawson and Beck Victor COO Paul Louis. And first of all, ladies and gentlemen, receiving a cheque for £30,000 and his runner-up medal. He's been absolutely superb all week. Please put your hands together for Neil Robertson. Neil Robertson, ladies and gentlemen. But from day one, the tournament has been all about this man, with a cheque for £60,000. And the title, the Bet Victor Welsh Open Champion of 2016, is the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan! Ronnie O'Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen!
Wonderful moment for Ronnie O'Sullivan as all the photographers line up to get their photo of the champion. He's got hold of that trophy for a record-equalling 4th time. And you can only wonder how Neil Robertson is feeling right now, Dominic Dale. I mean, he started so well, he's played so well throughout the week, but then Ronnie with a quite wonderful comeback.
Absolutely. I'm sure Neil, going into this evening's session, would have been very, very wary of what Ronnie O'Sullivan is capable of. But I'm sure at 5-3 up, he could never have dreamt of what was going to happen there this evening, lose every frame of the evening session. A brilliant performance from Ronnie O'Sullivan, it has to be said. Heartache for Neil Robertson, but that's what Ronnie can do.
Yeah, and a big smile on his face now. But earlier on, it was a very different story, wasn't it? He was, well, he was irritated with himself, the way he started the game.
Yeah, Ronnie just kept on Neil Robertson's tail throughout the early frames of this match. Neil had a chance, you know, at 5-2 ahead to forge ahead, but Ronnie kept pegging him back, just winning that vital frame, just to keep in touch and keep enough pressure on Neil Robertson to see what to do, basically, to Neil, what we saw tonight.
Yeah, he continues to be absolutely magnificent. We mentioned the Masters win where he thrashed Barry Hawkins last week, and now he has another ranking title. I mean, you know, it defies the general logic that, you know, after 40 you start slowing down.
Well, I think the key to Ronnie O'Sullivan, I've never known any player, past or present, to be able to do this, but play with so much freedom and ease at the table. You know, to professional sportsmen, not just in snooker, but winning tournaments means so much. To Ronnie, he seems to be able to take that pressure off himself and play like it is a practice session. He's able to produce his absolutely finest form, and he's doing it all the time. And I think a lot of us wish we could do the same, but it's very, very difficult.
I think everyone's desperate just to get some autographs and some selfies and shots with Ronnie as he lifts the trophy up there. And just some general thoughts before we leave about this year's Welsh Open. Has it been a good year's tournament?
One of the best that I can ever remember. I've never ever seen, as a commentator and a studio pundit, so many frames running one single scoring visit. 100 breaks, we've had a 146, we've had a 147. You can't ask for better snooker than this. It's the highest level of snooker I've witnessed for a long, long time, if ever.
What's been the highlight for you, do you think, this week?
Well, it's great to see Dean getting back to some form with that 1-for-147. OK, didn't beat Neil Robertson in his match there, but I mean, just, you know, for Ronnie to win the Welsh Open, he hasn't won it for a little while. It's just great to see. It's been a masterclass of superb performances from Ronnie O'Sullivan throughout this event. He's been, I think, everybody's favourite from round 2 onwards. He's been playing so well, beating opponents so easily. And, you know, if you look at the scoreline, 9-5, another fantastic performance tonight. And it's just, I mean, everybody loves watching Ronnie O'Sullivan at his best, and he's at his best.
They won't forget it, will they? That's for sure. He's been making the headlines from start to finish. Still fabulous at 40, Ronnie O'Sullivan, winning the Welsh Open trophy for a record-equalling 4th time. Thank you for your company.